you involve yourself with skill, as a faculty, we all would love to see the participants. And if they are in front of us, then we know we can actually know what's happening and how we are going ahead. And their body language tells us whether we are doing properly or not. So, but then this is a challenge, and I love to accept challenges. Let's go straight to this ahead. I'm going to put some disclaimers in front of you. One of them says that this is a training program, not a pravachan. मेरी नाम चारी है, आचारी नहीं, न मेरी कोई दाढ़ी है, न मैं कोई pravachan ठोकने आया हूँ. But then this is going to be one thing which is important, that we are all here to discuss something which you already know. Down the line, all of us in the school and colleges have used the podium many times, but I think we have lost somewhere the touch, and we will probably regain that touch again. I'm looking at you as change agents. Change agents are those people who go back to their workplaces and try to translate whatever they have seen here. I'm not saying learned, because this is not a pravachan. So you see here, you understand here, discuss here, and go back and do something in your own organization. I expect that. But still, you are free to choose your lifestyle as you want. You are free to disagree. This is not a Parivartan Shibir or transformation program, as it is called. There is one thing which is very important to understand on the philosophy on which this whole program is based. It says, what you say is important, but how you say is more important than what you say. That's what is going to be the crux of the whole situation. But before that, if you want to understand whatever I'm saying, there are certain things which you have to leave behind. Because to learn, you must first learn to unlearn. Whatever age you are, whatever gender you are, whatever hierarchy you are, we are all lifelong learners. We have to be lifelong learners. In fact, COVID has taught us that we have to be learners all through our life. We just don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So self-introspection is very, very important. And I believe that I am a lifelong learner. So many of my students are there in this chat here, in this room here. But it doesn't make a difference to me, because they're all colleagues to me now. They know no longer. Once they finish their first year in MBBS, they all become colleagues. And we learn from each other so many things. Swati, as a president of JCs, has taught me so many things. Rajeshri has taught me so many things. Vaidehi, we have been together in some of the platforms where we have learned so many things. So I think we learn from each other. So lifelong learner is something which I expect from all of you. And I have a board in my training center which says shoes and chappals are allowed inside. Please leave your ego outside. So unless you leave this ego, small ego outside, we will not be able to learn. And you have seen today itself, when this session was about to start, many of the small younger generation was helping the not so-called older generation. I like the way Vaidehi said boys and girls. Wow, lovely. So all you boys and girls also have boys and girls at home who are helping you to. So there is a small Hindi 4-line which says, जिंदगी की तेज रफ्तार में मैं चांद की ओर देखता रहा, जिंदगी की तेज रफ्तार में मैं चांद की ओर देखता रहा, मेरे बच्चे कब चांद तक पहुंच गए मुझे पता ही नहीं चला, मैं अब भी चांद की ओर देखता रहा. And that comes to a second saying which says that when have you sharpened your axe recently? You must have heard of this old story about a carpenter who was given 7 hours to chop a tree. He says, if you give me 7 hours to chop a tree, I will spend 6 hours to sharpen my axe. Sharpening the axe is extremely important. And during the rut of this whole life, we need to find some time to sharpen this axe. Maybe this program of next 1 hour is going to be to sharpen some of the things which we have probably forgotten. I demand that you, let's look at this video. You can't hear the audio. I don't want you to hear the audio. I only want you to see this video. And I'm sure none of us want such an audience in front of us whenever we are being called for a presentation. Wherever you are called for a presentation, God help you. Let there not be such audience.
So has the video started? We cannot see.
Yeah, video started. You can't see?
No, sir, not yet.
Okay, so I'll close the video. Okay, that's fine. No problem. No issues. The human mind is a wonderful thing. You all agree with me. It operates from the moment you are born till the first time you get up to make a presentation. It stops working. And this is what one of you, when you are talking, said there's something called as butterflies in the stomach. And butterflies in stomach is a very common phenomena. I remember I'm still a huge fan of Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji. I'm not any politically oriented fellow, but he is a wonderful orator and one of the finest orators India has ever produced. Yes. So he's off late, about 6 years back or 10 years back, he made a statement. At that age, he says, तितलियां तो मेरे पेट में अब भी उड़ती हैं, लेकिन तितलियों की संख्या और तितलियों का साइज जरूर कम हो गया है. Meaning thereby that butterflies are natural and normal for all of us. Whether you are, it is not age related, it is not gender related, it is not experience related. It is not, I can show you youngsters who are bubbling with confidence. I can show you people who are become presidents and secretaries and managers, but still they shiver when they go to that stage. Hierarchy, experience, gender, these are nothing, it is not related to speaking at all. But what is common in all these phenomena, that is everybody feels a small amount of butterfly. Hindi mein nahi, kuch kuch hota hai. When you are called for the first time to speak in front of somewhere, something happens. However senior you are, how many times you must have gone to the stage, but whenever still you are called to the stage, I think for the first few seconds something happens. And that is important, and it's important to happen. Because if it doesn't happen, you are overconfident. And overconfidence is not good. All right. So on this premise, you are not alone. There are many people who feel like this. Look at this. This slide, again, somebody is writing on the screen, Swati. This slide is only to give you a solace, a feel-good factor that you are not alone. Because 10 worst human fear, we copy from the West so many things. The West, the most they fear or the least they fear is dog. Then least they fear is loneliness. And go to the list. In the last, you will see speaking before an audience. So even in the West, people are still scared of speaking in front of an audience. There's something called insects and bugs also there. We Indians are not scared of that. And it's number 3 in their list. So let us look at this slide, which is a little theoretical, but it's important to understand before we go to practice. Two people are required, one a sender and one a receiver in communication. Sender is the one who sends the message, receiver is the one who receives the message. Any communication model, pick up any book, there are 5 elements. What are the elements? एक आइडिया मेरे मन में आया, उस विचार को मैंने बोला, वो डिलीवरी बी हो गया, उसको सुना किसी ने, वो सी हो गया, उसको समझा, इज डिकोडिंग इज डी, उसका मैंने एक रिस्पांस दिया, प्रतिक्रिया दी, दैट इज ई. So every communication has got 5 elements. And if I ask you a simple question, which is the most important of all these 5, you will start fighting with me. Some will say idea is important, sir. बिना idea के क्या मतलब? Somebody will say, sir, idea अच्छा हो लेकिन बोलने की क्षमता नहीं हो तो क्या मतलब? Somebody will say idea अच्छा हो, बोलने की क्षमता अच्छा हो, सामने वाला सुनना तो चाहिए, सामने वालों ने समझना तो चाहिए, उसने कुछ तो each other. You cannot segregate. One is little more important. Okay, I'll give you an example. I'll give you 2 words: communication and effective communication. संचार आणि प्रभावी संचार मध्ये अंतर सांगा. If I ask you, communication and effective communication, what is the difference between these 2 words? Communication is मैंने बोला, तुमने सुना, समझना है, समझो नहीं तो मत समझो. When does it become effective? मैंने बोला, तुमने सुना, तुमने उस प्रकार का response दिया जिस प्रकार का response मैं चाहता हूं. So which is the most important element? Who is more important? Sender and receiver. Who is the person who is actually telling you whether you have done properly or not? Who is the person who is deciding? My whole lecture is going on for 1 hour, and who ultimately will tell me whether this whole thing was good or bad? It is the receiver. So the response of the person is the one which is actually the most important one. So in short, if you ask me the definition of communication, if it is 1-to-1, 1-to-many, many-to-1, many-to-many, the basic definition remains the same. Even if it is 1-to-1 communication, it is same. Look at this slide again. If you want to be a public speaker, conference presenter, leader in an organization, you want to grow in NOGS, you want to be communicating with your boss or a junior or a senior or your spouse or your friend, or you want to give a toast in a party. The politics of effective communication is very simple. How to get a desired response. There is an audience in front of me, and the crux of the situation is you are a good speaker, you are a good communicator if you have this knack of getting the desired response. It's very easy for me to say. It's very difficult every time. Can I get a desired response? And we're going to go stepwise how to get a desired response from the receiver. So who is more important, sender or receiver? Think about it. Who is more important? Yeah, sender is important. He has the idea, he has the delivery. But ultimately, who decides whether your communication is effective or not? It's the receiver. So if you give that importance to receiver, in my whole presentation, that's what is going to be telling you. That is, how do we understand this fellow called as my receiver? Five things I demand, I request you. Number one is positive perception, because it says negativity nurtures negativity. Think positive, your actions are positive. A good presenter, even when you have nothing positive around you, I demand, मतलब मैं आपको पता नहीं force करना पड़ेगा कि you'll have to probably think positive in every way. So your perception decides your action, and people in front of you as an audience look at your action. So if your actions are negative, they know your thinking also is negative, because you're the way you behave, the way you walk, the way you command, the way you talk, the way the words are coming out of your mouth. These are the ones which are action, and all this is decided by the way you think. Second is, if you want to cope with change, there's something called as flexibility and adaptability. Keep your mind open for anything that comes. This is the second demand or prerequisite to be a good speaker. You have to listen to people. You have to talk to people. You have to attend as many webinars, even you are the best of the speakers. And if you want to do that, you have to move out of your comfort zone. मेरे को सब कुछ आता, ये क्या सीखना है मुझे, ये सब बकवास है, ये गायनिक के सिचुएशन में आपने सॉफ्ट स्किल कहाँ चलाया मैडम, कुछ भी करते हो क्या? So yeah, there are many comments which will come like this. Now these are people who have a closed mind. They don't want to open their mind for anything new. When I say lifelong learners are people with open mind. The third prerequisite is these three wonderful words which I keep using. Swati must have heard it so many times from me. Rationality, empathy, and assertion. Whenever I speak, there is some tattva matlab logic, rationality. बिल्ली रास्ता काटती है, स्वाति क्या करेगी? Your mic is on, Swati.
Yes, sir.
बिल्ली रास्ता काटती है, क्या करेगी?
Move on.
हाँ, किसी और को जाने देगी पहले और बाद में खुद जाएगी ना.
No,
if you ask your mother, बिल्ली रास्ता काटने से क्यों रोकते हो, the mother will say, go and ask your grandmother. There is no logic to this.
No logic.
There is no tattva. There is no explanation. So whenever I speak in a public forum or one-to-one anyway, because I told you, one-to-one, one-to-many, the principle is the same. So this session could be a session on communication also, not only effective presentation skills. So there has to be some logic in what you're speaking. I'm not talking about when you sit with your friends in the evening with a small drink, there you have to apply logic. No, there you can be absolutely illogical. But when it is a professional program, when it is a professional forum, or when it is a forum where you are involved with professionalism, there some logic is important. Empathy is trying to understand the audience. What does my audience want? This is second word. And third is you have to be sometimes very firm. You can't be aggressive at times. Assertion is putting your point across politely, decently, but very firmly. And I can take sessions on this continuously for 7 days, but these three words are absolutely important. Rationality, empathy. So I demand these three. The fourth one is the most important one. Ladies and a few gentlemen that are around here. This fourth one says range of knowledge, reading habits. Academic, yes, of course, you guys are very good in gynecology. But non-academically, your range of knowledge is range. Range is a huge range, right from Rocky 7 to atom bomb. Both are bombs. So can I understand and learn and think? नहीं मला तर cricket आवडतच नाही, मला football पण आवडत नाही, मला फक्त badminton आवडते. You can't be restricted to one area. It has to have a range, because if you are going to go as a speaker, you do not know which information, which source will be required where to put as an anecdote. As a speaker, you don't know which knowledge will be used required where. So academic knowledge is important, but non-academic, general reading, general knowledge, current affairs, general awareness, you have to be very strong in that. And if you are strong in that, your intellectual level is shown. And believe me, reading habits always increases your thinking horizons. You think differently. People who are readers or voracious readers as they are called, उनकी सोचने की क्षमता ही अलग होती है. उनका दृष्टिकोण ही अलग होता है क्योंकि उन्होंने 10-12 लोगों के व्यूज पढ़े होते हैं. उनके खुद की व्यू तो इंपॉर्टेंट है, बट दे आल्सो गेट somebody else's view. So this fourth point is extremely important for me. The last point which is important for me is confidence. Confidence is not something which you get in some market. Whether you go to a shop of pharmacy and say, "Wala confidence हो mycin देना 4 tablet, मजाज lecture है, and 4 tablet खाऊंगी ऐसा," and your confidence becomes high. I'm sure there is nothing like that available. I wish there was something. Confidence is related to your self-image. Self-image is how you look at yourself. I'm giving you 3 words. I'm going very quick on these slides because I have to go to the actual modus later on. These 3 words are self-talk, self-image, self-confidence. I'm repeating: self-image, self-talk, self-confidence. Self-image is how you look at yourself. It could be both low and high. मैं बेकार, मैं फालतू, मुझसे कुछ नहीं होता, मैं गांव से आया, मेरी अंग्रेजी ठीक नहीं है, वैदेही मैडम देखो कितनी दिखती है, मैं अच्छी है, उसकी इंग्लिश देखो कितनी अच्छी है, मैं तो बेकार हूं, मैं समाज. All this is low self-image, right? High self-image is, yeah, I can do it. Let me try is also high self-image. All these two comes from where? जब बच्चा पैदा होता है कोई low self-image और high self-image लेके पैदा नहीं होता. घर के माहौल में उससे बताया जाता है कि whether his image is building which is high or low. अभ्यास नाही करशील तर भिकारी होशील, मूर्ख लेखा तिथे बस. All these dialogues which he hears inculcates into him low self-image. So how do I increase my self-image? How do I make it high? The way is self-talk. Positive self-talk leads to high self-image. Negative self-talk leads to low self-image. And these two are related to confidence. So a man with high confidence generally has a positive self-talk. Simple as that. The only medicine to increase confidence is, I can do it. Let me try. And I'm sure you ladies and gentlemen, or girls and boys, as you said, are all bubbling with confidence. Younger generation, look at them. They are full of confidence. You come to my college, I'll show you. You go to your own colleges, you will see that. They're very good in whatever they are doing. Confidence is very high. But reading habits are poor. You ask them a few questions out of their syllabus and all, they are zero. They don't even know what's happening around them. So there are things which is a mix. And then if all these 5 are related and all the 5 are required by me. What are those 5? I'll go very quickly back. Positive perception, moving out of your comfort zone, rationality, empathy, and assertion whenever I'm speaking, good reading habits, and the last one was good positive self-talk. If you're with me in these 5 elements, I'll go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Am I doing fine? The speed is okay?
Absolutely, sir.
Okay.
Going on well.
Okay, so if the low self-image gives you certain type of stage fright, how many of you experience stage fright? I can't see you, but I'm sure you can all raise your hands.
All of us, sir.
All of us have it. All of us. Stage fright is very common. Stage fright is something which I remember your first time when you were asked to speak, even in your house. I was asked to speak vote of thanks in my own house, and I was shivering. And the symptoms of stage frights. Doctors, you love symptoms. I'm showing you symptoms. Rapid heartbeat, trembling knees, curing of the voice, stomach fluttering, blurring of the eyes, sweating of the hands, the mouth goes dry, breathing becomes like pranayam, blind, the whole mind becomes blind. There's the thought which is blocked. You think before you come, and when you're sitting in the audience, before your name is called, you think, मैं ऐसा बोलूँगा, वैसा बोलूँगा, ऐसा करूँगी, वैसा करूँगी. But when you go there, everything goes blank the first time. And the voice starts cracking. And there is a small sweat, one drop of sweat, which goes from the back, goes behind, and goes along your spinal cord and reaches the bottoms. And that gives you the chill in the spine, as it is called. This is a very common thing which is happening. Because of the most important reason for all this is fear of failure, fear of ridicule. किसी ने हंस दिया तो, fear of presence of रोध की madam, fear of presence of elders, fear of presence of juniors, criticism, incompetency of language, exposure of thoughts, loss of relationship, consequences of concern for consequences. Sometimes you are bothered about your own voice because on the mic the voice looks different, and you get scared. मैं ही बोल रहा हूँ क्या? Crowd, competition, and of course, I'm sure lack of knowledge is the one which is the leading one. Should have been on the top. So all these things lead to what? Lead to embarrassment, panic, shame, humiliation, and sometimes terror. And how do I remove all this? Choose the opportunity. First time when you are speaking or second time, third time, look for the subject which is you are comfortable in. Prepare thoroughly. Audience likes you. And then I always advise my students, can you visualize success? Sit back and look at this. My video is going to happen. There are about 200, 300 people sitting in this room. And are they all listening to me? Or some of them are chewing something? Are they all listening to me? Or some of them are looking here and there? Are they all listening to me? Or they are, I don't know. I can visualize success. Because, and third, fourth thing is you are not alone. There are so many people. And one more thing important is take notes. Even if I have spoken this so many times, I have notes. I know what's next. I have this fellow with me. It gives me, and then practice, practice, and practice. Even if you fail, there is always a next time. So these are the steps in which you can always control and start the stage fright. Okay, so let's go to the workshop proper. Workshop proper says that I'm going to show you a list. And in this list are jumbled up words. They are not in the correct sequence. Are you all with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so they are not in the same thing. We already finished about half an hour. We are removing. Look at this modulation of voice. You are called for make a speech. Vaidhi madam says you have to do your vote of thanks tomorrow. And your Gynec Society invites you to do introduction of Dr. Chari. So modulation of voice, purpose, subject, gesture, postures, audience analysis, nature of audience, when and where to speak, length of the speech, dress code, matter, opening body, closing, or evaluation. Is this sequence all right? No, obviously no. What should be first? What should be second? What should be third? What comes to your mind first? Supposing Samir, I call you to speak. Samir, आपको एक भाषण देना है. So what thought comes in your mind first? What thought comes in your mind first? Sir, किसके सामने बोलना है? ये thought पहले आएगा कि सर किस पे बोलना है? ये thought पहले आएगा. Subject पहले आएगा कि audience पहले आएगा? तो ये झगड़ा चलते रहता है. अंडा पहले निकला कि मुर्गी? Both are important. So I'm going to show you, divide these 10 people. Evaluation is the only thing which is correct here. It always remains in the last. You evaluate a program after your session is over. So these are the 4 areas, quadrant. Audience analysis, subject analysis, style analysis, and evaluation. And there are many public speaking training programs and trainers. All of them give you their own fundas. And my funda is audience analysis. This is the most important. जिसको एक ऑडियंस का पल्स पता है वो उस भाषण को अच्छे से बखूबी बना सकता है. The most important is audience analysis. I'll tell you why. 5 wives and 1 husband. I wish I had, but then you can't. So what are the 5 W's? I'm sure you know this 5 W's. 5 W's is who is the audience? What is the level? If I know the answers for the 5 W's, then 1 husband. 1 H is how. What are the 5 W's? Who? The level of the audience. किसके सामने बोलना है? स्कूल में बोलना है, कॉलेज में बोलना है, हाइजीन के बारे में बोलना है मुझे, और गायनिक सोसाइटी भेजती है आपको, मेंस्ट्रुअल साइकिल के बारे में बोलना है, तो आपके सामने पहले ये प्रश्न आना चाहिए किसके सामने बोलना है मैडम? स्कूल वालों के सामने बोलना है, कॉलेज में बोलना है, कितने बच्चे हैं, मराठी में सांगायचं है कि हिंदी में कि उर्दू में बोलना है? Do they like me? Attitude towards subject. Do they like the subject? Or hundreds of people have spoken on menstrual cycle, and you are the 101 person going and speaking. So can I not? I am supposed to know. Before I came here, I must have asked Swati 100 questions. कितने लोग रहेंगे, कौन रहेंगे, कैसे रहेंगे, कहाँ से आने वाले, मैं इसको फॉरवर्ड कर सकता हूँ क्या? इस पूरे हॉल रूम में मेरे बहुत सारे मित्र मंडली है, मेरे साथ बैडमिंटन खेलने वाले 4 लोग दिखे मुझे. हंस रहे होंगे, कल सुबह मारेंगे मेरे को पकड़ के. I must do my audience analysis properly, and I must know who these people are. I must know what am I trying to speak. What kind of a speech is this? Entertaining speech, motivational speech, informational speech, technical speech? The matter will differ. Once I know what kind of a speech I'm going to make, the whole thing will change. Winner speech, loser speech, good news, bad news, funeral speech. What is it going to be? Sometimes it's a mixture. For example, today's my lecture is informative, motivational, both mixture. So I'm going to mix up both the things and give you. Next is why Chari? Why am I being called? Why me? Why this time and why now? This has to be answered. And then the 2 most important questions are looks very simple, but they are dangerous. When and where? When am I going to speak? Before lunch? You must have gone to conferences so many times. Just before lunch, your time comes and people are hungry. 1:30 is the lunch time, and already the program inauguration, which was supposed to be half an hour, all my conferences inauguration goes for 2 hours. And by the time your turn comes, the lunch time is already past lunch time. People are all looking, and sometimes center point hotel में जब आप लोग करते हो तो बाहर पीछे में dishes लगना शुरू हो जाते हैं. And of the food already there, and you expect people to listen to you? Come on, don't beat me like that. Nobody is interested to listen to you. So when is the speech? Where is it? Is it in an audience? It is in a hall which is air conditioned, or in a corporation school which has no fan also. So if I answer these 5 questions, then I can sit back and relax for some time. I have answers for these 5 questions. Then I design how. So designing a speech, even if it is for 2 minutes, which is more difficult, by the way. Talking for 2 minutes is more difficult, or talking for 2 hours is difficult. Believe me, talking for 2 minutes is more difficult. It's very difficult. ऐसा लगता है कि 2 ही मिनट तो बोलना है, लेकिन वो 2 मिनट में पूरा निचोड़ आपको लाना है. ये पूरे 5 W और H को आंसर, W's को आंसर करते हुए H तैयार करना है. सबसे ज्यादा चुनौतियां होती है जब आपके पास समय कम दिया जाता है. जैसे मेरा ये पूरा सेशन 7 दिन वाला प्रोग्राम है और वैदेही बोलती है 45 मिनट्स में खत्म करो सर. मुश्किल है, करके देखो. So this is the challenges which you have, and then you can design the how. So when you know the, ऐसा भी नहीं है कि आपने मुझे बुलाया और कम्युनिकेशन में 1-to-1 कर रहे हैं अपन, and you said define communication, sir. I am speaking to my boss. I'll say, wait boss, wait, let me define these 5 W's. Who are you? Why am I here? What, when, where? It doesn't happen. It just happens continuously in 1-to-1. In 1-to-1, same 5 questions have to be answered. कौन है ये? ये मेरी बीवी है. क्या बोलना है इसको? इससे मुझे आज अच्छा खाना मांगना है. कब मांगना है? जब उसका मूड अच्छा हो. कहाँ मांगना है? जब वो शाम के समय में घूमते फिरते रहे. Where? In an air conditioned room. So why don't you play all these games when you are trying to seek something from your spouse? I'm sure you are. Ladies are known for this. How do you manage to get so many things from your husband? Right time, right place. So the same principle of communication is being designed here. Your how is defined by whether you can analyze these 5 questions properly. This is called needs assessment, ladies and few gentlemen. I keep saying few gentlemen just to get some humor, Baba. Don't worry. Okay, but those few gentlemen are enough for me. Have you ever gone fishing? Me and Samir, when we were together in IGMC, used to go fishing. I hope Samir is still there. I don't know if he's there.
Yes, he's there.
So when we used to go fishing, on the fishing, we like dahi samosa a lot. In Lakshmi Nagar Chowk pe, I've seen Joshi madam also in the group somewhere. Sandeep's wife is also here somewhere. So we, Lakshmi Nagar Chowkat apan jawa jaun samosa khato na. That fellow gives you samosa with all those, and he takes it. It's in the left hand, crushes it with the left hand, and he gives you all that chuda puda on that. We love it. Nagpur ka samosa, especially dahi samosa with all that chuda puda is so good. Yeah, beautiful. But when I go fishing, in the rod, in the hook, do I put samosas? No. No, because the fish doesn't like dahi samosa. It likes insects, kida. So what does this philosophy say? It's a simple saying. It says, give the fish what the fish likes. Don't give the fish what you like. अरे मेरे इस कंप्यूटर पे पब्लिक स्पीकिंग के 500 स्लाइड्स है. मैं तो पूरे दिखाऊंगा आपको. क्यों पूरे दिखाएगा भाई? नहीं, मैंने पूरी तैयारी किया है, मैं तो पूरे दिखाऊंगा. You can't do that. You give the audience what audience likes. Don't. So that means the receiver is more important. I plan my entire how depending upon the answers for these 5. So ladies and gentlemen, please understand that making a small presentation in front of people, this demands a lot of techniques, and that is possible only when your audience analysis is तगड़ा. जिसका audience analysis तगड़ा है, वो बैठ के घर में अच्छे से तैयारी कर सकता है. जो एकदम बिंदास जाता है, कुठे बोलायचं आहे, काय बोलायचं आहे, जाऊ दे ना, मी नेहमी तयार असतो असं बोलणारा माणूस कधी तयार नसतो. He will make a mess when he goes there. With due regards to all those people who have been doing this, I think audience analysis is important. We'll go to the next one. Subject matter, subject analysis, opening, body, closing, 15%, 75%, 10%. ऐसा कोई बांध के 15% नहीं है. यदि आपका 1 घंटे का लेक्चर है तो 5 मिनट का आइस ब्रेकिंग होना ही चाहिए। मेरा आज आपका 1 घंटे का लेक्चर है तो मैंने पहले 5 मिनट में रिस्पेक्टेड वैदेही मैडम, रिस्पेक्टेड नंदिता मैडम, राजेश्री मैडम, 4-5 नाम लिए, समीर जी का नाम लिया, मैंने भोले मैडम का नाम छूट गया मेरे से। So you can take, Sagarika is also there. So you can take so many names, but icebreaker is important. How do I connect to the audience? Ice breaking is 15%. Oh my God, making a noise. I have arrived is icebreaker. जिंदगी की तेज रफ्तार में मैं चांद की ओर देखता रहा. वो क्यों बोला मैंने? Why did I speak those 4 lines? Maybe I wanted to connect with you through a शेर और शायरी, but then it should be linked with the subject matter. ऐसी कोई शेर शायरी मत बोलो जो सब्जेक्ट के साथ में लिंक नहीं है. और आपके एकेडमिक प्रेजेंटेशंस में कृपया करके शेर शायरी मत बोलिए. एकेडमिक प्रेजेंटेशन में शेर और शायरी का मुशायरा नहीं है वो. But there you can use some strong English few lines which are relevant to your subject. You can try that. But then you just can't come and start your session. My first slide, please. You can't do that. Don't do that. Even if it is a 5 minutes presentation, there is a 15 seconds ka ice breaking. Please use it. Standing in front of the audience and smiling, touching the mic, saying, hi, good morning, how are you all? Can I start? I hope you're all with me. Is an icebreaker.
Right.
So there are many methods of ice breaking. Even in the classroom, there are some teachers in this room with me. Even in the classroom, when you have 1 hour lecture, you just can't go inside and start speaking to the students. The students have been grinded. First lecture was anatomy, second was physiology, and now third is biochemistry. बेचारे मर मर के आए 8 बजे से. आपका लेक्चर तो 11 बजे, वो सुबह 8 बजे से वहां बैठे हुए. So I think you need to build a rapport. This ice breaking. Body is important. Body matlab the main part, the main crux of the whole. 75% statistics, rationality. You heard that word before with me. Tark, logic, everything is here. And closing is जाते जाते मैं फिर से कुछ ऊपर के बॉडी में से एक important तत्व निकालता हूँ and I throw back at you. Icebreakers are defreezing. Salutations is good morning, good afternoon. Attention getters, preview. First impression is always the best impression. Is it so? I don't know. It's debatable. Sometimes first impressions could be the worst impression. Sometimes illustrations, couples, questions. I have used so many times. How do you think that COVID is going to go away from this country? Use a question. Maybe that strikes a balance with what you think. So there could be different methods, and there is no style which can be copied from Suresh Chari. Your style is your own style. Whatever you do is your style. Shah Rukh Khan is Shah Rukh Khan and Amitabh Bachchan is Amitabh Bachchan because they have their own styles. Nobody copies each other. Shocking facts, stories, smile, but never start with an apology. Vaidhi, I have heard so many people. It's so miserable when you call people as a guest speaker. I have heard abhi parso keynote speech. और keynote speech में keynote speaker चालू किया. मुझे नहीं पता आपने मुझे क्यों बुलाया, मैं इस काबिल हूँ कि नहीं. अरे तू काबिल है करके बुलाया भाई.
Right.
There are many people whom I have heard who start, even our JCs, maybe Swati, I have heard this many times. And then it spoils. Why do you start? मेरा गला खराब है इसलिए मैं जो भी बोलूँगा आपकी मेरी आवाज पहुँचेगी कि नहीं. Let them decide whether your gala is खराब or not. Even my throat is today. I am not making a mess of it. Why do you start with an apology? In between, somewhere you can say, yeah, you may not be able to hear me because my voice is not doing well. You can do that style of yours. But don't start like that. So don't start with an apology. Main points, this is called as body 75%. Arranging in a logical sequence, meant to be clear, meant for clear purpose. There is no specific rules. Think, observe, read, converse, interview. These are the methods. Think. A lot of thinking is required. Observation is required. Kapil Sharma is good because he's a good observer.
Yes.
He observes minute things. So you have to be a very good observer. So many things are happening around you. You can pick up any episode anywhere. Even if you're standing in a red square where it's a red and waiting for your signal to come, you can observe people and make a comment somewhere in your speech somewhere. Read, converse. Whatever you read, try to talk to somebody in the evening. Interview people, talk to them. Interview matlab as a formal interview nahi. You can get into conversation with stalwarts, with people who are much better than what you are in certain subjects. I'm not a master of all subjects. I really don't know what's happening in North Korea, in America. So I start talking to people who tell me about that. So there are ways in which you can gather information. Concrete examples, figures and facts, simple logical development within time. KISS doesn't mean the literal kiss. It means keep it short, stupid. That's what it means. Closing is review, remarkable, summarizing, restating whatever you have said. You have to build up a climax. Build up a climax. And when it comes to that, you abruptly don't end saying, "Ab mere paas kuch bhi bolne ke liye nahi, I stop." No. You again make a statement from the body, pick up an important event, and ultimately you thank people, compliment and all that. And compliment has to be sincere. I'll come to that. This is about the body. The next one is style. I spent some time here. You have heard these beautiful words: gesture, posture, face, dress, eye contact, language, modulation, so many times. Once your audience analysis is clear, fine. You've sat down and made the subject. You can decide this also. When I'm saying you can decide this also, I used my finger. You can decide this also. I use my gestures. I use my hands. The way I stand is the posture. I say thank you. And when I say thank you, I can't say thank you. And my whole face says get lost. When you say thank you, your expression should feel and make them feel that you are thanking people. And I'm sure dress, I'm not going to comment on. So many ladies sitting around, you know what to wear. Dress to the occasion. Dress to the occasion, because gestures are related to what you wear. You make gestures. Some people have this habit of doing like this. One of my friends used to keep on doing like this when he used to speak. And there's somebody who keeps on saying, you know. And the audience is a very funny fellow. कभी आप प्रेक्षक की भूमिका में बैठो, सबसे the most comfortable place in the hall is the audience. क्यों? क्योंकि सिर्फ बैठना है और टिप्पणी करना है ना, देखिए इसने ऐसा बोला, उसने वैसा बोला, इसने ऐसा बोलना था. We're all cricket commentators that time. All of us know the game. मैंने इसने right side में माना था, इसने left side में माना. It's very easy to comment. And when I'm doing a gestures like this, or when I'm using some words repeatedly, you know what I'm doing in the hall? I always do this. I and my friend have a bet. कितनी बार किया होगा उसने? We start counting. So anything which disturbs the audience is not allowed. Not allowed, matlab you don't do it. That's all. Especially females who have, sorry, I don't know if somebody has got it here, who have hairs which is coming and blocking one of their eyes. And when you are speaking on the audience, you go on chatkaing like this. And then when you do that, oh, you think you look very good. Yeah, you look very good. But the audience is counting 1, 2, 3, 4. And the most important thing is, it's such a wonderful speech. You have done so much of preparation, so much of content is there. But the audience is busy betting around. We have speakers. We have wonderful speakers in Nagpur city also who keep using the same words repeatedly so many times. And we start counting how many times he has done that. Eye contact is important. Eye contact is not looking into the eyes. Don't look into the eyes of one of the audience. You know, some of the audience are especially known audience is more dangerous than unknown audience. I don't know if you have realized that when you sit, there are many PG postgraduate students here. When your whole departmental people are sitting, you will find your HOD looking at you like this. Don't look into our eyes. Because if you look into those eyes, the eyes will be looking at you with, all sorts of analysis going on. And you say, eye contact, karo, eye contact. Eye contact is important to make the audience feel that I am with you. So you look in this section, look in that section, look here. Look in the top portion. Don't look in the eyes. Some known eyes which are friends of yours, postgraduate students, friends, postgraduate students, they'll make like these gestures with the eyes and they'll disturb you. So don't look at them. So look here, but then eye contact is important. Eye contact gives you the confidence that I am with you. The audience starts feeling, but then there is no pattern. I move from here and then I'll go left here, then I will spend from left, then I will go right. It's not like that. Because when you are moving right, the audience knows कि अभी यहाँ समय आने के लिए, यहाँ आते आते टाइम लग जाएगा, तो he will start doing something there. तो इसलिए आपको वो eye contact random रखना है. आप यहाँ देख रहे हो, suddenly आप वहाँ देखते हो. But believe me, ladies and gentlemen, eye contact is a very important area. Language is important. Means what? The quality of language. आप भाषा जो प्रयोग करते हो, वो भाषा की क्वालिटी ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है। मैं भाषा की बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ, आप वही लैंग्वेज बोलेंगे जो लैंग्वेज आपके ऑडियंस को पसंद है, आता है, समझता है, करेक्ट? दैट्स अ फंडा, थंब रूल। व्हाट इज अ थंब रूल? यूज द लैंग्वेज which audience knows. Mixture is always more acceptable in Indian community right now. Even if you are giving a presentation anywhere, please understand Hindi English mix. And if it's a Maharashtra, Hindi English Marathi, few words here and there, few words, 80% English, 10% Hindi, and 5% Marathi here and there is allowed. It gives that spice to the whole speech which you are making. Not academic, of course. It should be basically in one language. But non-academically, you can go and get into these 4 or 3 of. But then क्वालिटी ऑफ लैंग्वेज, इवन हिंदी, स्वाति नागपुर की हिंदी सुना है क्या? आना बे जाना बे तेरे को मेरे को कनपट्टी पे मारूंगा. And they are so poor in that. So I think importance of language is there. Swati, put your close your. The importance of language is there, but please understand that language should be good. You don't have to use colloquial English like Shashi Tharoor English. Not required. Even Shashi Tharoor doesn't understand what he's speaking so many times. But it's a good English. He's a wonderful orator. If you have heard him speaking, I think he's very good. No, pardon me. He's really good. I'm very, I keep hearing his speeches so many times. But the English he uses is not a common man's English. So he cannot reach out to many people. He only is liked by certain people who say, "Wah, kya bola yaar? Kya bola? Kya bola yaar? Kya bola? Kya bolta hai? Kya bola kya wo?" So it's only the style that is important for him. No, content also is important. Gesture, posture, face, dress, eye contact, language, all of them are important. But the most important one is modulation, ladies and gentlemen. I'm repeating. Posture, gesture, face, dress, eye contact, language is important. But the most important, ladies and gentlemen, is modulation. I just did modulation for you. I could have said this sentence in flat tone. Gesture, posture, face, dress, eye contact, language is important, but more important is modulation. I could have done that. I could have done that. This could be, I could have done that. I could have done that is with gesture, with posture, with facial expression, and a little, very subtle modulation. Very subtle. In academic presentations, you can't make huge modulations like Amitabh Bachchan. Dekh lunga. No, you can't do that. You Mohabbatein picture, if you have seen dialogue between Shah Rukh Khan and Amitabh Bachchan. I have a recordings of that which I make people hear. That is good for social organizations when you are making a speech, political speeches when you are making. But academic speeches, yes, gesture, posture, facial expressions, very subtle. Subtle मतलब थोड़ा सा. बहुत ज़्यादा आप gesture, posture करेंगे तो लोगों को पसंद नहीं आता. Drama बोलेंगे वो drama. Modulation, voice, pitch, pace, pause, language, emphasis. Anything which distracts the audience is not allowed. So style analysis is important. I'll give you a few examples of modulation. Then we'll go ahead. She was dead, no sleep, so beautiful and calm, so free from trace of pain, so fair to look upon, she was dead. This was a paragraph given to me by my teacher in school. And she's already dead. I have killed her more by this sentence. No modulation. How do you add modulation to this? I read again. If I read it flat, how it looks. She was dead, no sleep, beautiful and calm, so free from trace of pain, so fair to look upon, she was dead. मजा ही नहीं आता ना, अरे वो मर गई ऑलरेडी, उसको और मार रहे हो तुम. She was dead. You can try it hundreds of times. You can make it so different every time. Look at this. कौन कहता है कि हाथों की लकीर तकदीर बनाती है? अरे तकदीर तो उनके भी होते जिनके हाथ नहीं होते. अरे इस शेर पे तो ताली बजनी चाहिए. आपने एक शेर कहा और लोगों ने ताली नहीं बजाई, तो क्यों बोला ही क्यों आपने? शेर अच्छा होगा वो इम्पोर्टेंट नहीं है. What you say is important, but how you say is more important. कौन कहता है कि हाथों की लकीर तकदीर बनाती है? Give a pause, because कौन कहता है कि हाथों की लकीर तकदीर बनाती है? Let them think. कौन कहता है? Use gestures. कौन कहता है कि हाथों की लकीर तकदीर? अरे तकदीर तो उनके भी होते जिनके हाथ नहीं होते. And when you say this in a fashion, you can, this is not the only way of saying this. There are hundreds of multiple of ways in which you can place this. So try this. When I was in school, I remember Dr. Ved Prakash Mishra was 1 year senior to me. There are many juniors who were we were all debaters in that time in school. Saraswati Vidyalaya was my school, by the way. And we used to be all debaters. So my guru is Ved Prakash Mishra. And I always respect him for the oratory skill that he's got. And then he used to give us paragraphs. Suresh, Ganesh, Ramesh, we're all juniors. All Suresh, Ramesh, Ganesh, Mahesh, all these people. And he used to tell us, ये paragraph दिया हूँ, इसको अलग-अलग तरीके से पढ़ो. Rao teacher was my teacher. And the same paragraph, teacher used to expect me to read it differently every time. Every time. Can I make the same paragraph sound different, modulate differently? That's the beauty of modulation. 3 to 6 times practice. Central idea should be is important. Use actual cards or paper if you want. Use mirror. Use your friend circle. Use your spouse. Ask her or ask him कि मुझे शाम को एक vote of thanks देना है, मुझे एक presentation देना है, सुनो मेरी बात. He's your spouse, she's your spouse, she can't leave you. उसके पास कोई choice ही नहीं है. Best audience to practice is your spouse. Best is the mirror, but mirror is dangerous. You look in your own eyes in the mirror, they only look at the hair and while make-upping, or lips when you're putting the lipstick. You never looked in the eyes. Try looking in the eyes in the mirror, the most dangerous. Anyway, try to do that. You can plan the modulation, you can plan the gestures, but don't overdo it, as I'm saying. As I keep on speaking, I'm sometimes. Let not these labels come behind you. Express speaker, serious speaker, bookworm speaker, swinging speaker. When does it come? Swinging speaker is a person who keeps on moving. Bookworm speaker is only reads and reads and reads. Hungry speaker is swallows the word. Monotonous is continuous speaker. No modulation. Statue speaker is straight. Express speaker is कितने भी अच्छे वक्ता हो, आपके पीछे लेबल जरूर लगता है. और एक बार वो लेबल लग गया, बड़ा मुश्किल है उसको निकालना. Few tips: shall not start the speech with apology. Still not add too much of statistics. Will not make it very dull. Will not murder the language. Stick to the time. Don't be over sentimental. Yeah, I've seen people crying on the podium. You can be emotional, but then you don't have to be over sentimental. Practice, practice, and practice is important. This is an important gadget called as mic. Mic is something which is in your hand. Keep one mutti away. If you go too close, it also shrieks. If you keep too away, it's bad. But the mic distance is very, very important. And mic something which throws your voice. Your voice goes and reaches multiple places. Use it effectively. So don't get scared of this black object in front of you. Use a mic which your hands can be free. I'm recommending that. Don't demand that when you go for your speeches. If it is a collar mic, that is the best thing that can happen. Podium mic is the best thing. If you don't want to use the podium and go outside the podium, collar mic. Hand mic, one hand is stuck and your one hand movement looks bad. It actually looks bad. So mic is an important area. Everything can be planned, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, the workshop starts for the next 10 minutes on this issue. I have 10 minutes more, Swati?
Yes, sir.
I'm seeing my watch here in front and I'm going by the watch, don't worry. So, can you see the whole thing? I can't, somebody ऊपर का पूरा आता है, उसको निकालो क्या? हाँ, thank you so much. Analyze, visualize the audience. I want you to visualize 5 W's and 1 H. There are many challenges. We will identify challenges and we will suggest an opening, body and closing. Are you all with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, the first one. You have been invited to a 9th standard class to speak as doctors on health is wealth. Sounds simple. 9th standard के बच्चे health is wealth पे पूछना है. इसमें 5 W's क्या रहेगा? Who is the audience? School children, sir, 9th standard. Any other question comes in your mind? Come on. Any other question comes in your mind? No, let them not use the chat. I can. Any other question comes in your mind? Yes. Which school? Corporation school? Is it a CBSE school? State board? What is the school about? Is it a school which is semi-literate? Which language they ask for? 9th standard students are dangerous people. Have you ever gone to and spoken in front of 9th standard of 2020? And you are speaking on a topic, health is wealth? They don't like you. They don't like the topic. They know that there is some doctor who is going to come and tell them, don't eat pizza, huh? Don't eat burger, don't eat ice cream. All these don'ts will come. So they don't like you speaking on this. So how do I start? What is going to be my opening? What is going to be my body? What is going to be my closing? And how much minutes I'm going to speak? 20 minutes. Health is wealth. Think about it. Challenges are plenty. The moment you start identifying the challenges in each of these, I'm going to show you about 5 or 6 here. You are the president of your organization and your welcome speech in fashion show. Swati, Nagpur JCs, Medico JCs has organized a fashion show. Vaidhi Marathes and NOGS has arranged a fashion show. And your speech on a fashion show, Vaidhi, what are you going to speak? How much are you going to speak? How many minutes are you going to spend on the speech? So when you analyze the audience now properly, now that I have given you so many tips on audience analysis, you know, does the audience want you to speak? Is the first question. No. The audience has come to see the fashion show. They have not come to listen to Vaidhi Marathe or Swati Sarada. No. They are not interested in you. So, and as a president, you have to speak. तो compulsory है. तो आप क्या बोलेंगे इसमें? कितना आपका भाषण होगा? कितने ड्यूरेशन का होगा? आप में इसमें ओपनिंग क्या होगा? अब मैं तो यदि आप पे होता तो खड़े होता. Are you here to listen to the fashion? I'm sure you are here for the fashion show. Are you with me, ladies and gentlemen? Shall we start the fashion show? Enough. Yeah, welcome you all. आपने बात क्या रहता है बनने के बाद में मन में बड़ी इच्छा रहती, ये भी बोलना है, वो भी बोलना है, NOGS को भी प्रमोट करना है, फिर ये भी दिखाना है, वो भी वीडियो दिखाना है, बहुत सारा रहता है. अपने पास प्रोग्राम बहुत रहता है. But then can you control and analyze the audience, empathize with them, rationalize with them, and then come out with whatever you are saying? Look at this. You are a medico, your speech in IMA. IMA में एक symposium था. Doctors are forgetting Hippocrates oath. मतलब डॉक्टर्स के सामने डॉक्टर्स की धज्जियां उड़ाना है और आप एक मेडिको खुद हो और आपको भाषण देने बुलाया. सबसे चैलेंजिंग है ये. बुला तो लिया आपको तो बोलना है. Think about it. I'm only asked. I can't spend time. We only have 5 or 7 minutes. Keep thinking about this. And look, this is another one. एकदम विपरीत है ऊपर से. विपरीत मतलब opposite. Speaker on a hospital management college, managers of New Millennium College Hospital. ये ऑडियंस आपका बिल्कुल तैयार ऑडियंस है. They want you to talk. They want to listen to you. They want statistics. They want content. They don't want any humor. They want to you, and you are being called because you are a manager of a big hospital. You are running a big hospital. So you have been invited to speak on their annual day function by this management college. Excellent situation for you to speak. Excellent situation. Again, a bad situation. Hislop College. Oh, horrible. My friend Vijay is there in today. I can see him somewhere in the. He's a Hislop College Youth Festival. How is the crowd, Vijay? Hislop College Youth Festival is absolutely. I'm not saying they are not interested at all in your speech. They have come for award distribution function. You have come for award distribution. You have made your speech. Don't make it more than 3 minutes. A lot of challenges. Blind school. You are speaking to blind school children living with pride. Very difficult. The most difficult speech I have given is in front of blind school children. They can't see you, they can hear you. Their other senses are very sharp. You can't call them blind. You can't call them whatever. You can't call the word disabled. And you know, you have to motivate them to that level. So it's a difficult situation for all of us. Addressed as an ex-student. Have you ever been called by in your own school as an ex-student? That is the best thing that can happen to your life. The most, मेरे रोंगटे खड़े होते जब मेरे स्कूल में मुझे बुलाया जाता है, because you have reached somewhere in life, so people call you, and you are addressing the audience there. You don't have to boast about yourself. You got to talk about the school. You got to talk about the building. You got to talk about nostalgia. You got to talk about the classroom. You got to talk about that old teacher standing in front of you. So design your content so well that other students are motivated to become like you. This is a motivational speech. Chief guest in Ganesh Visarjan in your own colony. स्वतःच्या कॉलनीमध्ये गणेश विसर्जन मध्ये काय माहोल असते? कोणाला इंटरेस्ट नसतो. ते संदल घेऊन उभे असतात लोक. They all want to dance. Nobody is interested in Swati's speech. Nobody. And you are a chief guest there, Ganesh Visarjan, and you are talking about why Bal Gangadhar Tilak started this and how Mahatma Gandhi came, and all those things are not required here. They don't want statistics. They only want you to say Ganpati Bappa Moria, Salah apan Visarjanla jauya. And how well they did all those programs in the last 7 days. That's all. Slum. Oh, this is excellent. When you go to the slum and want to speak on menstrual cycle or hygiene or population control, birth control, and they have umpteen number of children, एक एक घर में 5-5 बच्चे रहते हैं, और आप एक गायनेकोलॉजिस्ट करके जा रहे हो वहां पे आईएमए की तरफ से कि बच्चे पैदा मत करो, बोल के देखो कभी वहां जाके. So whatever I'm showing you up here are all different. Why am I showing you? I know you may not get chance to go anywhere like this. Some of my people in this room may say, sir, हमको कहाँ chance मिलेगा बोलने के लिए. I am not asking you to take a chance. I only want you to think, if the who changes, everything changes.
Right.
If the audience analysis is good, everything can be good.
Right.
Look what you have here. First time appearance in presidential speech, state level conference and national conference. First time academic presentation. State level national conference. Your academic presentation on a well-known topic. आपका topic है, आपको बुलाया गया है, and you are speaking on IVF again. Oh no, again IVF. So many speakers have spoken, and you are again speaking on the same topic. So how do I make the same topic which 100 people have spoken the same way? Many people speak on effective public speaking. Can I make it different? Can I make it creative? So this creativity business is very important. Maggie hot and sour soup is different. How is it different? It's different. You saw that advertisement? Maggie hot and sour soup is different, he says. And then the other fellow says, how is it different? So your presentation has to be different. The title may be same, but you've got to make it different. See your academic presentation in state conference just before the keynote speech, just after the keynote speech, just after the inauguration, just before tea, just before the last session is over. Oh, every situation is dangerous. You can't take the same slides everywhere. I'm sorry if I'm making this statement. You can't take those same slides everywhere. I'm repeating. Many of you make those mistakes. Same slides everywhere. No, the slides can be the same, but what you want to say, how you want to say, who is the audience, what is the timing of the session has to be different. So the first thing is proper needs assessment. Second thing is planning of opening body and closing. Third is plan your style and modulation. Fourth is visualize success. And fifth is practice. Many of you in this room may say, sir, आपका क्या है sir? आप तो बहुत बार बोल चुके हैं, आपके लिए बहुत सिंपल है बोलना, हमारे पोजीशन में आके देखो कितनी गड़बड़ होती है. हम भी आपके जैसे थे बेटा, कभी ना कभी शुरुआत तो की थी हमने. हम भी कोई बॉर्न स्पीकर नहीं है. या आई नो, आज मेरे सामने आप 1000-2000 लोग खड़े कर दो, उनके रॉन्ग टेने खड़े कर दिया तो मेरा नाम भी सुरेश चारी नहीं. I'm not talking about my confidence or something like that, but I know I can analyze the audience, pulse of the audience. जो audience के pulse को समझ सकता है वो, I think he can do wonders. Do you have a feedback partner? Is a question I'm asking you. Feedback partners are those people who catch you by the collar and say, hey, अच्छा बोला. After this program is over, I'm going to catch 2 or 3 people. I have planted 2 or 3 feedback partners in the room. Yeah. चोरी किया मैंने आपका आईडी पासवर्ड दे दिया उनको, बैठा है मेरे रूम में, और ये प्रोग्राम होने के बाद में मुझे बताएंगे, सुरेश इतना क्यों चिल्लाया, थोड़ा जोर से बोलने की जरूरत ही नहीं थी, तो माइक पे बोल रहा था. So they may probably tell me what went wrong. And do you have, we all must have a feedback partner because we are lifelong learners. Criticism और critique करने वाले बहुत मिलेंगे स्वाति. वो ये आपने को मैंने एक सुनाया था जेसीस में, मैंने एक कहानी यहाँ रिपीट करूं चलेगा पता नहीं, मुझे मैं करता हूँ.
चलेगा सर. एक
दोस्त एक आदमी अपने कुत्ते के साथ जाते रहता. जब वो कुत्ते के साथ वॉकिंग जाता है तो उसको एक फूल दिखता, गुलाब का फूल. He says, ए गुलाब तू कितना सुंदर है, तुझमें कितनी खुशबू है, तुझमें कांटे नहीं होते तो कितना अच्छा होता. Then he is going ahead and he sees one कोयल. He says, कोयल तो कितना अच्छा गाता है, तेरी में कितनी मधुरता है, लेकिन तू काली सुंदर कितना अच्छा होता. वो कुत्ते से रहा नहीं जाता. कुत्ता बोलता है मनुष्य तो कितना बुद्धिमान है, उसमें कितनी सोचने की क्षमता है, तो ये गलती निकालने की आदत नहीं होती तो कितना अच्छा होता. So you will get critics everywhere who will give negative comments. They are important, but those who give critical, creative comments are the ones whom I call feedback partners. Thank you very much. Life is one-time chance. Life is beautiful. Challenges are plenty, but keep expressing is what I request you to do. So I think I could probably exactly 1 hour. I finished whenever you gave me at 4:40. It is 5:40, 5:50 now.
So you could have gone and nobody would have left this meet. I'm quite sure about it.
I don't know how many are still there. How many are there?
A lot of them are still, some 300 people are still logged in.
Okay, question.
So I'm actually speechless, sir. No words. You can just go through the chat box. It's flooded with compliments. You an outstanding presentation. Thank you so much,
Yes,
sir.
okay.
Over to you, Swati.
Thank you, ma'am. So thank you so much. I was telling Vaidehi madam, we are missing sir's in-person trainings and we really would request sir to have that in person, but it was just fantabulous, truly great. Thank you so much. Shall we invite the questions, ma'am, in the chat box?
Yeah, if there are any questions, kindly drop them in the chat box. Yeah. Till now, at least I didn't see much. I think all doubts cleared. The session was simply wonderful.
Sorry, Samir, I took your name so many times. We went fishing together.
One of the very few men who gave you company, sir, today.
No, Nishikant was there. Don't worry.
So I say very few. Yeah, I don't think there are any questions.
Okay.
Everybody just complimenting you, so you can just go through the chat box.
Yeah, I'm seeing that. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot, and I'm very happy I could be here. Wish you all the best and happy talking to you all.
Yeah. Sir,
Dr. Kotwal sir, I think wants to say something. You unmute him.
Yeah, just
sir, unmute.
Yes, just a minute.
Kotwal sir, just a minute. She's unmuted.
1 minute.
Yes,
Samir
I have done
yes,
it.
sir.
I have done it already.
Yeah,
it was a very nice to hear from you. It was wonderful. And especially that comment on eye contact was wonderful. Okay. Don't look into the eyes. You can get carried away because of when you look into the eyes.
Sometimes the eyes are so beautiful, you feel like seeing them only.
I know that. That's right. It was very nice. Wonderful.
Yeah, yes, Samir, you were saying something.
Yes, Samir, sir. Yeah.
सर वाइवा प्रेजेंट करते वक्त भी आंखों में नहीं देखना चाहिए था.
वाइवा प्रेजेंट करते वक्त में you should see.
मुझे आपकी आंखें याद आ रही है. Excellent talk, excellent. It's mesmerizing, and kudos to you too, and NOGS team too.
Oh, I'm seeing this guy also. Yellow T-shirt.
Unmute करना पड़ेगा सर.
Please, Dr. Dinesh Agrawal, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. It was a very lucid talk, very interesting and very knowledgeable as usual.
Yes,
thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. It's a very nice talk, sir.
So there is a
Thank
question
you,
for sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
There's a question from Dr. Sangeeta Garg. She's asking you, should we speak the written content or spontaneously?
No, you should keep points. I always advise you to keep a small pad which has got main points. There are many there are many trainers who will say ये कुछ मत लेके जाओ ऐसे जाओ. मैं उस generation का trainer हूँ जो ये बोलता है कि ये साथ में रखो. This gives you that kind of a confidence.
Yes.
कितने भी बड़े speaker हो कुछ points आप जरूर लेके जाएंगे, and you must learn to expand those points. That's very important. When you keep on reading, if your reading habits are good, as I told you earlier, then these points can be expanded. If your reading habits are poor, I don't think you can do that.
Right.
I think, sir, I had attended your Express to Impress, the effective public speaking training 2 years back. And since then, I have not left any opportunity to speak on the mic, although not that good. But yes, I'm trying and decreasing the butterflies now. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah,
so there's a question for you from Dr. Charu Mittal. What is the best way to overcome butterflies in the stomach? What should you do?
Let there, but you cannot avoid butterflies. Butterflies का मैंने कहा ना size और संख्या जरूर कम हो सकती है, but absolute absence of butterfly, somebody is telling a lie. It cannot happen. There will always be some amount of butterfly. But then the first few seconds, if you can conquer, the first few seconds on the mic, if you can, and the best way is go and stand. Don't start your talk. Even if it is an academic presentation, go there, look at the audience for 1 second, 2 seconds, count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Do that. Do that. Moment you do count 10 and look at the audience, that gives you that confidence. And then the butterfly starts vanishing because you, I say, ek bata mere ko, have you ever gone to a speech or listening to some fellow, ये सोच के कि चल जाके बोर होते नहीं ना. Audience wants you to do well.
Yeah.
90% times the audience is with you. Nobody wants to go to a conference and चल बोर होते. That's a different thing कि inauguration के बाद में आप लोग sightseeing के लिए जाते हो. वो अलग बात है. But then whatever sessions you are sitting, that session you want to enjoy. You want to learn something. So 90% times the audience is with you.
Yeah. So will that help, taking a deep breath?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it does. It does. Same thing. You take a deep breath, but look at the audience. Never shy away from looking at the audience. I can see Archana also in there. Wow.
Yes,
Somebody, madam. Right.
Not only in Nagpur, there are people all from all over India, sir.
Oh, okay. Nice meeting them all.
Yeah. Dr. Rosa ma'am wants to know she's from Gwalior. She's asking any tips for virtual talks when you cannot see the audience. So what are the tips for the virtual talk?
If you have any, please give me. Because now I'll tell you what. I've been doing this quite some time. Before Corona came also, we were doing virtual learning a lot. And the only tip is that to see that you are in the center of the camera, as you can see the camera. I'm in the center. I can't put it like this. I don't put it like this, but it is actually in the center like this, right? This is one. And then see that all your systems are in place, and then try to speak more. Give only pointers. Don't give too much of matter on the slides.
Yeah.
The slide matter should be less. That goes true for everywhere.
Yes.
But here, they want to listen to your knowledge level rather than looking. वो बोलते हैं कि slides तो हम पढ़ लेंगे sir. आप मेरे को भेज देना. Link करके भेज दो बोलता हूँ.
Right. True. There's another
हमारे students भी यही बोलते हैं sir. आप हमारे many teachers are there who will go on showing slide. Next slide please. Next slide please. Next slide please. And they will go on reading what is in the slide. So बीच में एक student ने रोक दिया मेरे को. Sir आम्हाला वाचता येते तुम्ही फक्त सांगा काय काय. So they know, they actually, the youth today wants something more than what is in the slide.
Right, wonderful. So there is one interesting question from Dr. Neelam. What can we do if we cannot speak extempore?
What can we do if we cannot? No, you will have to learn.
Cannot speak extempore. So
yeah, I know. I would strongly recommend that, don't misunderstand me, because I belong to an organization called JCs. And these social organizations have actually given you a platform to make mistakes and learn. Whatever I am today is because of JCs. I can speak extempore only because of that. So in school and colleges, so you must try to practice taking. In our younger days when we were in school, 10 friends used to meet and we used to distribute chits. वो चिट में जो भी शब्द आया उस शब्द पे बोलने का. Just a minute किया है, jam बोलते हैं उसको. Just a minute. You pick up a chit and you open the chit.
Yes.
Suppose the word is fan. You start speaking on fan. Then somebody picks, it's a glass. You start speaking on glass. Start speaking on pen. So you have to train yourself. It needs mental training to speak.
Yeah.
Anybody and everybody can't do it, but practice. This is important.
So this gives me an idea. This can be a very good lockdown game at home for family.
You should do it.
Yeah.
But not every day. The children will run away whenever you come next time. So.
Yes. There's one more question. Any non-medical book suggestion for effective presentations and public speaking skills?
Yeah,
Any
many.
book can you suggest?
The best book is yourself. Actually, you videograph yourself. I would strongly suggest that when you are giving a speech somewhere or a presentation somewhere. Even now, Rajeshri is recording that. I was told. Yeah. So I would need this recording. I want to see what I have done. Yes. So I generally look at my recording even for the 15 minutes, 20 minutes and find out where we went wrong. So recordings are the only way in which you can improve, and they are your best feedback partners. Or plant somebody in the audience who can tell you where you went wrong and how you could have been better.
Right. Lots of doctors want us to arrange one more session with you, sir. So that there are many requests like that. And Dr. and Dr. Ruma saying, sir, you are so good on speaking. How is it possible that you are so good? Can we take training from you? So Dr. Ruma, we have planned one session, one full day workshop with him. Hopefully the lockdown is lifted and gives us a chance, to hold it with him. So we'll let you know when we have that full day workshop with him.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Sometimes the speaker is barely visible behind the podium. How to overcome that?
Remove the podium. If you are short, if your height is not good, never use the podium. or insist that on the podium below there is a, which gives a height to you. You should be, people should be able to see you till your neck down. They should be able to see that face of yours fully. Otherwise, go outside. I've seen so many short speakers who just come out. They don't use the podium. They use a mic and come out. Bindas, ekdam.
Right.
God has given you small height doesn't mean something is wrong with you. You are like that, just come out. Be yourself.
So, yeah. So, is there any way we can access your other talks? Have you uploaded them somewhere where they can access?
No. I will send you 1 or 2 links which you can transfer.
So please. Yeah, we'll circulate once we get it from sir. How can we, size of audience is a matter or not in public speaking?
It is a huge matter. Huge matter. If there are 40 people, 30 people, I am the happiest person. When there are 2,000 people, as I had once in Deshpande Hall, about 1,000 people sitting, and I was in Jalgaon where there's a huge auditorium. There are all youngsters, about youth. I generally speak to youth. So you can't interact with them much. That's what I thought. But I used a trick. I took a collar mic and went inside the hall.
Oh.
I went round and came back, did a little drama for about 5 or 6 minutes in the initial stage. Then I came on stage and never left the stage. You can't do that many often. So you have to plan a lot of creative things with them. But audience size does matter. Does matter.
Yeah. Another question. Sometimes we need to do body gestures while teaching PGs, like how to operate, explain procedure. Is that okay? Should we avoid body gestures?
You should. Gestures are very important. And one more thing, those who are talking about teaching PG students, there is nothing called as teaching communication skills to PG students. They learn by looking at you.
Yeah.
They learn all these skills by looking at you. All of you sitting here who are stalwarts in their field of gynecology have looked at your seniors, Sastakar madam or Banerjee madam, or so many madams were there. I have so many colleagues with me in GMC, IGMC, who are wonderful, wonderful teachers. Nishikant sir, you are witness to whatever your wife was with me, and we all have worked with them, and we looked at them and we learned. Nobody said, "Aja, main tere ko communication sikhata hu." Nobody does that. Soft skills are something to be seen. Rodgi madam, you will agree with me when I'm saying that your husband is such a wonderful speaker, and we have always seen that happening. And we learn, even today when I see him speaking, he talks about transaction analysis, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
and
that's
there
right.
he takes session on that, and I learned so many things from him just by looking at him.
Yeah.
So when you are, as a teacher, please understand, subject matter you are teaching, but you are also teaching him communication skills without his knowledge.
Chari sir, I want to tell you, Dr. Mrunmayee was with you in college. She's with you even today. She has joined this session today to listen to you.
Where is she?
Yeah, Mrunmayee, madam.
Yeah, Mrunmayee. Yeah, go ahead.
You can see her. Yeah.
I can see her. She's against the light, but the light is behind her. You can't.
Now you can. Yes, we can see her now. Yeah. Dr. Nidhi wants to know how to practice public speaking and communication skills in lockdown. Can you give us some tips?
Well, I told you, the best critique is your house, family members. Those people who are excellent communicators at home can be good communicators anywhere. Period. Bottom, underline.
Right. Sir, if the audience is scanty in numbers initially, even then, should we start the speech on time?
You should. Always start on time, always end on time. I was in Amravati recently for your gynec conference.
Yes.
Yeah. And I could see that huge conference, but then so many multiple sessions. There are about 17, 18 halls. And how do you distribute people? Everywhere there are hardly 10, 15, 16 sitting everywhere. So for a second, I thought that why can't we merge everybody? But then I said, no, the topics are different, the needs are different, everybody wants different things.
Yeah.
But you have to start. The person who starts on time and ends 5 minutes before the official time is liked by everybody.
Right. Absolutely, sir. How to improve expressions, or is it a self-art?
No. Expressions are to be practiced. Expressions. Have you played dumb charades? Rajeshi will smile now. I'm sure she will do that. We've been doing, when we, in NKB Salve, she's done that so many times. Dumb charades is very important. Dumb charades मतलब आप acting करते हो, मतलब आपको एक chit मिलता है और आपको एक film का उसमें, do that with your family. and be a part of that. Dumb charades improves your expression skills. Skill hai beta. If it is a skill, it can be learned.
Yeah.
Sachin Tendulkar was not born with a bat, no? He learned how to play. So you can learn a skill.
So currently, are you taking any personal training, or do you otherwise conduct personal training? Is a question by Dr. Viswakaris. I don't know.
Viswak ji, what do you mean by personal training? One-to-one you mean? No, I conduct training programs in groups. My sessions are not one-to-one. I'm a counselor, but I don't take one-to-one counseling sessions. No.
So
But if you have all these people who are postgraduate students, and if they are in my college or anywhere, if they have to make a presentation, and if they want some tips on how to make this presentation good, please come to me. There is no charges for all this. I'll be very happy to help them to make their presentation better.
Yes, we'll all let you all know once we have one full day workshop with sir. Dr. Amok Chimote wants to know, is incorporating non-academic content in the slides okay?
Where is Amok? I never saw him. Why? Where are you? Hiding.
He's there. Yeah, he's there. Lots of people still on screen, so you will have to scroll through the screens.
I know. Anyway, wherever you are,
there
Amok.
he is there. You can see him now.
Hi, Amok. What's his question again?
Is incorporating non-academic content in the slides okay?
Not much. If your academic contents are there, if you're going for an academic presentation, be very careful what sort of non-academic things you're adding. It should be related to the academic one. Subtly or majorly, it should be. Unrelated sher or shairis, unrelated matter is not acceptable. They will say you're doing drama. So you must add, you can add little bit. You can add, it sounds good sometimes, but only a bit of it, not much. Thank you.
Another important question, sir, is it a good practice to ask questions to the audience in between your speech? Many speakers do that.
Very, very good question. Very good question. Very good question. This is a technique which I use many times in my speeches. But then be very careful. Questioning technique is a good technique to make the audience participate. But sometimes you ask a question. आपको क्या लगता है कि क्या ये COVID-19 जाएगा इतनी जल्दी? And if you get a bhaltai answer, if you get an answer which you never expected, it will fall back on you and boomerang back on you. And they will go somewhere else. So be very careful. What I do is, why do you ask questions? To make them think. If the audience is thinking, if you are making them think, he is with you. The moment he stops thinking, he dissociates. Sometimes Vaidehi was using the mobile when I was talking. At those times, she was not with me. So I had to take her name to bring her back. So as a politics of communication, I see that all my audience are with me. All right. So when I do that, when I ask a question, you make them think. What do you think the COVID will happen? Is it going to go away in 2 months or 3 months? Ask a question, give a pause, and give the answer yourself. Don't wait for the answer. Raise a question, make them think, and give the answer.
Right. There's a very interesting comment for you from Dr. Chaitanya Shembekar. I have seen Dr. Chari sir teaching with the same enthusiasm since the last 30 years. Sir, आपका enthusiasm का ये क्या राज है?
उसको पहले सामने लाओ. कहाँ है? Very Chaitanya.
There is no K, that is Kantara word in your dictionary.
and today I'm teaching his son also.
Yeah.
Hi Chaitanya. Hi, nice seeing you.
Same here, sir.
तुझा मुलगा अभ्यास करतो आहे की नाही बायोकेमिस्ट्री? Okay, so Chaitanya, very nice seeing you and very happy that you guys are all here.
I think this is a repetitive question. How to handle situation when person is not prepared for a speech but forced to talk? Any clues? So I think that is extempore we've covered. Once I got to see a speaker alone with no audience in the conference hall. Incidentally, I entered the hall and sat down. Is it right for the speaker to do? I don't know. Don't get this question.
Speaker to acknowledge or continue probably means that.
Maybe, yeah. Dr. Lata Gupta, if you can just pose that question again.
No, Lata, I'm really, if you were the speaker at that time, my whole sympathies are with you. Because speaking to an audience, which is a hall which is no audience, is the most pathetic thing that can happen to a well-read, well-prepared person, and especially doctors when you are there. Organizers should see to it that at least there are 4 or 5 people sitting in the hall.
Yes.
But then please don't forget that your contents are at least reaching those 5 people. You can't transform everybody. In this hall, we were about 300 people. Even if 2 or 3 or 4 people use whatever I have said, I'm happy.
Right.
So I think we can we make the difference to one or two people also. That's what we should look for.
True. So, Dr. Jhalwar has he's all the way joined us from Silod and again has repeated the same question about extempore talk. I think he must have missed your answer. How to handle a situation when the person is not prepared? Can you just briefly tell him, because he's repeated the question again in the chat box.
I think the same answer I would give, that you have to practice, and you have got to play that game when you pick up a shit and start speaking on a topic. That's called as just a minute, and it's a wonderful exercise which we did at a small child, and you can do it now also if you want. And I think we should practice a lot using small words and then start speaking. Priyanka Bharti is showing some hands. This is a beautiful gesture she's doing. What is that? What does that mean?
Clap,
Priyanka?
must be a clap.
I don't know what it means by that.
So there are two expressions we can give: a thumbs up and a clap. That's a reaction.
No. She's using her physical hands to do that.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I can't see her. All right, I think we are.
Thank you so much.
The last question, sir. There's the last question. How to encourage our kids to speak in public or a common platform, because most of them feel shy.
ये क्वेश्चन तो बहुत ही लंबा आंसर है इसका मेरे लिए. Because I am a counselor who talks about to youth only. My age group is 15 to 25. I spend all my life with these people. They are wonderful, believe me. हमारी ये मतलब गलत फहमी है कि हम बोलते हैं कि आज का युवा दिशाहीन है. It's not like that. This 15 to 25 years of 2020 India are wonderful chaps and chappies. Believe me, they are very good, very creative, very eager to learn. Only thing is they want you not to behave like a typical Buddha, and they want something in their language, their style, and their method, and they love to listen to you like that. So please encourage. This is the time. Probably lockdown has given you an opportunity to actually give them many small exercises without telling them aja main tera public speaking theek karta. He will never come to you. He will never come to you. If you are sitting in a breakfast table and if you start discussing issues which is happening apart from COVID is there all over the place. People have got bored listening to that now. But if you give them something which is if you want to increase their general knowledge, if you want to increase their reading habits, raise an issue, anything. It could be sports, it could be films, it could be non-academic, anything. And if you start discussing with them and try to encourage him and develop that interest, he starts reading about it. And he starts reading about it, next day morning he will start discussing with you. That's how you nurture their interest on a particular topic.
Yes, sir. Very interesting. Yes,
sir. We have a huge responsibility on them. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Right, sir. Wonderful. I think we need to end because the questions will go on and on. Over to you, Swati.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Now I would like to invite Dr. Asi Sengupta, ma'am, Honorable Secretary, for a vote of thanks. Yes, ma'am. You are unmuted. Yeah.
Thank you, Swati. Thank you so much, sir. It was wonderful.
Yeah,
Kya kehne? I have no words. Actually, I was scrolling through the chats and comments they have written. Everybody has been appreciative. Everybody said excellent, mesmerizing, very practical, very useful. But one comment which hit me most was that person wrote, it was excellent and invigorating. And I forgot to take my missed lunch.
Invigorating. What is the meaning? I don't know.
No, that person has written that he forgot to take his missed lunch.
Oh.
He kept listening to your lecture.
Okay.
I think that was amazing.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Really, all the tips that you have enumerated, I think it's worthwhile. I'm sure of all the 350 plus participants who logged in today, there has been a load of take-home message, and I'm sure the youngsters are going to benefit a lot. Really appreciate wholeheartedly, and we look forward to having more sessions, maybe in-person sessions once the lockdown is cleared.
Yeah. I'm sure.
I really thank all the people, participants who logged in and stayed along till now listening to sir, and I hope you had a good time. Do keep logging into our Digi-O-Gyan meets, and do keep on loving us and supporting us the way you always do.
Good,
Swati, thank you so much for your help again. You are a genius. Tumhare bina hum kuch nahi kar sakte.
We are a team, ma'am. We are a team. Thank you so much.
About the ICOG credit points, once again, I really thank ICOG for being so supportive and kind to grant credit hours to all our CMEs every time. And I have written a number in the chat box for those who wish to seek the credit points. There are 2 credit points for today's CME. All you need to do is write your name, registration number, your email address, and your mobile number, and please send it on that number itself. It's written in the chat box in the messages. I shall post it again for you people. Thank you so much. It was wonderful. Wish you all a very good evening.
Rajasi future program notifications karta hi sango.
Yes, please. About our future program notifications, those who want to get notified, please write in your name and your mobile number in the chat box now, so that we can put you in our broadcast list and we can notify you of our future events. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm leaving. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot, sir. Thanks a lot. Thank you, sir.
All right. So we are ending the meeting now. Those of you who joined us today, thanks a lot once again. You all can leave. We'll stay back for some time for noting all the numbers that are appearing in the chat box to notify them about our future meets. Thanks a lot once again. Have a good day. Swati, आज I think ये भी तनया भी logged in है. Can she note?
Hello, ma'am. Pragati ma'am is waving. Shall I change the settings now?
And see. अच्छा अभी दिख रही है. ओके अभी आई क्या रे?
बहुत देर से थी रे वैदे, काय को पूछती हो अभी आई क्या रे?
किसको बोल रहे मैम? नीलम मैम बोल रहे हो? कौन बोल रहे हैं? दिख नहीं रहा.
हाँ नीलम
मैम कह रहे हैं, वो खड़कर मैडम से बोल रहे थे मैम.
अच्छा
दिखा ली तुम्हें हमारी आवाज आती क्या? ये वो कपिल को भी भेजना है ना अपने को अपना डिटेल.
ऑफिस एनर्जीस ऑफिस नंबर पे भेज दीजिए मैम. कपिल को भी चलेगा बट एनर्जीस ऑफिस नंबर पे भी भेज सकते हैं. So I think we are done, nahi, Swati?
Yeah, ma'am. Just checking.
It was the last number.
Yeah.
The broadcast list is expanding like anything. Last time I think Tanya got 175 numbers.
Yeah, last time we had a lot of numbers.
175.
Yeah. Right now I can see Dr. Minal Karambe.
The last
as
one.
Last. Yeah.
And I think somebody just wrote Dr. Archana. I think she
Jambulkar.
must be writing. Yeah.
Ma'am, you can leave. I'll end the meet later.
Yeah. So we all can leave now, right?
Yes, ma'am. Bye bye.
Chalo, bye, Swati.
Great,
thanks
session.
Thanks a lot once again. Yeah.
Team, bye bye. Bye, Ratsi ma'am.
Chalo, bye everyone.
Bye bye. Tanaya, are you there? You can unmute yourself. I can't see you anywhere.
Yes, ma'am, I'm there.
Okay. Are you able to note down the numbers or should I send you the chat?
No, ma'am, it's fine. There are not more numbers.
Okay, so I'll stop the recording then otherwise.
Yeah, definitely.